So now let's see. You're getting ready to compete. Do you think it was? I know everybody works hard, man. Everybody has their own capacity to work hard, but did you think it was any easier for you than other people? Like, did you see yourself growing more or growing faster than other people?
Um, when I was getting ready for my first show,
Yeah.
by that point, I wasn't an active member of Bev Francis, so I wasn't really surrounded by other competitors or bodybuilders. So social media wasn't what
No,
it
no, it
is
wasn't even a
now.
thing.
So I had nothing, no real way to compare anything. I just knew whatever gym I went to, I stood out, and that was the only really way I can compare. But I definitely was always 100% with diet and training. I never cheated on my diet, even if I was just dieting down for the summer.
You're still like that.
Yeah,
That hasn't
so
changed.
getting ready for a show didn't change anything. It just was get a little leaner than you usually are, and I did find it easy to do, but I had no way to compare my progress with anyone else's at the time.
Yeah, I think you guys who are listening in don't realize how different things are today. You have Instagram, TikTok. You see all these different bodybuilders. I'm watching Coach Greg all the time on TV and on YouTube, talking about Sam Salk and the Trend Twins and what they're doing, and you see their whole life right there. We had none of that. We had whoever the big guy was in the gym try and do what he's doing. That's about it. Oh, what does he do? Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. That's really all there really was. But what else is going on in your life at the same time? Obviously, you obviously were very good at work by working out, eating, doing all that. Were you in college? Were you studying something? Was there like a main major you had, or
At the time, or just in general related to fitness?
at the same time? Like, let's say, like, I'm sure you're certified up the wazoo. I'm sure you are.
Yeah,
But other things.
I think at the time of my first show, I was 23, 24. I was already done with school. I had finished in school. My BA was in psychology.
You have a
I,
BA in
I have a
psychology?
BA in psychology,
Get the
yes.
hell out of
Queens
here.
College.
He's brainwashed me. That's why he's here. That's what happened.
Yeah.
See?
um, at at the time, I was working and this is where I actually got my start in the supplement industry. I was working for NXT in Astoria for Factory, who was also IFBB pro and a coach.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so he'd probably be a heavy influence on the route I went.
You went to Queens College?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went to my party school?
Say it one more time.
Okay, so that was my party school.
Queen.
So
There's no partying going on in Queens College when I went.
I went to LIU and would leave every afternoon for the day jams at Queens College to go there, party in the middle of the hall, the rec center they had, chill, play Street Fighter 2, the arcade game over and over again,
That was a good
play
game. But my
pool,
favorite game
yeah,
actually.
hang out, and then there was night parties after that. So I was like never in Long Island the first year of school. Like I spent all my time in Queens College back and forth. My friend Shane went there, so I was at Queens College a lot actually. First 2 years till like 90, I would say 98 or 99. I was in Queens College a lot.
98, 99.
You probably didn't even
I
start
wasn't
till
there
after
for
that.
another decade.
Yeah,
So
I'm aging myself. The whole audience is like, damn, KPC old as hell. It's true. He's a young guy, so. All right, so you competed. What happened? How'd the competing go? What happened? Tell me more.
my first show, I won. I won the novice overall. I won my class, and I didn't win the overall. I came up second in that. But I thought for my first show in a heavy Northeast show, I did fairly well and qualified to do a pro qualifier. But realistically, at 6 foot, 240 pounds, knew I needed to be a lot bigger to become a professional in bodybuilding at the first super heavyweight, right? So
Right.
I was qualified for 2 years, so I decided to take those 2 years off to put on the size to be ready to do a pro qualifier and maybe get my pro card.
I'm kind of happy you didn't go all out heavy. You actually look really good the way you are right now. I think that kind of distorts your body. What do you think? If you really get that, Jay Cutler big, you don't think you ever look the same ever again? You think your waist ever goes back to normal? And
No, if you blow out your body, that's it,
yeah,
especially your waist. But the next year, or was it when I was gearing up to compete again? or like a year before, that's when they introduced classic physique, and that's why I
Right,
decided,
right,
thank
right,
God, I don't have to
right.
put on another 30 pounds and do all these drugs and kill myself to, for no reason. Classic was a good fit. It was easy. It was an easy fit. It was, didn't
Yeah,
have to change
definitely.
much.
Yeah, that
And
makes
it was just natural. I just, at the time, the way the division was created and what it was originally intended for, I fit very well. So it was a no-brainer.
yeah. For those of you who follow bodybuilding, and it came to a point one time, and if you don't follow bodybuilding, I should tell you, you guys have seen all the big guys, right? Huge monsters. It became oversaturated with hugeness. There was no proportions left, just big, as much muscle as possible. And the IFBB felt there should be some way to bring the originals back, the Arnold look, the Columbo look. Um, so what can we do? So they made the classic division, guys. So that's more like a
Streamlined,
streamlined look.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you look good. You have a great physique. The small waist. Rounded shoulders, but it's not overdone. Like your quads are not so big that they're like you call quadzilla. But they match your body, and that was the whole point of it. But do you think that it stayed that way?
No, even when I first competed, which I was probably one of the first dozen classic amateur athletes turned classic pro. All the other pro athletes were switchovers from bodybuilding events physique, right? So at the time, the weight cap had to be 215 pounds. And like I said, the 2 years before that, I competed at 235, 240. So I had to drop 20, 25 pounds to make weight for that.
Oh wow.
But now the weight cap has gone up at least 10. I think it's 10 pounds. It might be, they raise it again this year. It might even be 12 pounds by now. So, 12 pounds of stage weight
I know.
is that's like 30 pounds more in the off season. So
Yeah.
it basically,
My audience who isn't non-viable, you understand that if you are gaining 15 pounds of stage, that's like 35, 40 pounds off stage. Take out the water, take out the fat, you lift 15 pounds. That's a lot of. That's a big difference from where it started. So I do also think that's gone. It's not what it's intended to be.
it's not how it started.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what it's intended to be, but it's definitely not how it originated. That it wasn't we're 15 pounds heavier now. It's a totally different look.
Before I get into something else, just real quick, just touch on the subject a little bit. What do you think about this? And every few months we are losing a person to this sport. Um, we lost a good friend, George Peterson. Rest
Yeah,
in peace. He was
yeah.
a great, great guy, gem of a human being, angel of a human being. Just so sweet, so kind. Um,
George was a great guy. I had the privilege to guest pose with him at the Long Island show.
he just
Great
so he
guy.
just no matter what prep he was in, guys, he could be like not eating anything, dying. George, how you doing? Good, man. How are you? Never cranky, never nothing. But besides him, we've lost all over the world so many young athletes in last year. What do you think? What do you think about that? Like, how do you think that should affect people about going on stage or not going on stage? If you guys are listening now and you're thinking about going on stage, listen to us for a second. Think about what we're saying to you.
I think a lot of these guys, I can't speak for them, but
No, just
especially,
your thought.
yeah, I'm not speaking for any of them, either the ones that passed, but in general, I think more emphasis needs to be placed on health, and people need to go for more routine blood work. And more than that, you know this, a blood,
Mhm.
you going for blood work is just a snapshot in time, and at that current
That's right.
time, down to the minute, to the second. But the other 11 months and 30 days of the year, you don't know what it is, and you need to go. There needs to be more. These guys need to get better testing. Go for heart MRIs,
Yep.
heart sonograms.
Yep.
Go over your family history. See what it is that run. I know my family history. We have blood clots. We have high cholesterol, high um, blood pressure, kidney failure, and these are all related to PED usage as well. So I've had to be very careful and eventually stop competing early to avoid having any of those issues in the long run. I know I'm prone to it, and it just wasn't worth it.
And that's important. What he said. I want you all to hear that about a snapshot in time. For those of you who don't know, and I haven't talked about it yet, I will one day on this podcast. That's the whole point, guys. I have kidney failure, not acute kidney failure, end of stage kidney failure. Oh, how did it happen? You guys are wondering, KPC, what'd you do? Um, I worked so hard, so many hours, and kept dieting like a jackass because it's part of our culture is to try and have a lower percentage of body fat and don't want to get. I'm already big as it is, you guys can tell, so that's a problem for me. The combination caused rhabdomyolysis, and I felt the aches and pains. I felt the tiredness. I just fought through it with Bang energy drinks and Advil, and I didn't realize it was killing my kidney for over a year and a half. Looking back now, the symptoms, it must have been happening for over a year and a half. But the one time I had blood work done 2 years ago was perfect. Like Johnny said, snapshot in time. A year later, there's nothing left. Had I periodically gone, and I suggest you all should, as a nurse, I'm telling you this myself, you think I would know better, I'm a nurse. I take everybody else except for myself. I'm always the last person to take care of is me, and it's a very bad habit. If you're all out there right now and you have somebody taking care of a family member or anybody else, guys, you gotta take care of yourself too. If you're not around, you can't do anything to help anybody else. So I just wanted to know what you. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing what you thought about that. So let's go back real quick to I don't know, the infancy of this store. So it's 2016. At this point, if you guys already also on my YouTube page, if you haven't, you can go on and take a look. I had lost like 400 pounds.
Yeah.
I was really, really big. I wanted to be super shredded. Not that I was happy with super shredded at all, but I felt puny. But the women in my gym were stronger than me at that point. Didn't like it. I don't like like weak girls stronger than me. It could knock me out. No, no. So I walk into the store. I need to buy protein. The store opened up right next to the gym, which is very convenient, right? This is great. Total nutrition. Like, let me go in here and see what's going on. If you guys don't know me, I'm very, very picky, guys. You're listening right now. If I talk to you about something, and let's just say you guys are selling me a car, and I walk in and I tell you I want a Mustang GT, and if I know more than you about the Mustang GT, I'm not buying it from you. You're an idiot. And I'm very judgy like that. I know it sounds horrible, but if I want something from you, I don't want to buy it from somebody who's smarter than me and knows more what they're talking about. When it came to nutrition and it came to just working out in general, I found that very rare, which is I know it's very sad, but the truth is, like John knows, you talk to people, I don't know anything. Half of them, they know some things, they don't know other things. They're not really reading all the time. So I was very judgy when I walked in there and I see John sitting there. And I'm like, what's this Abercrombie and Finch model going to know? Nothing. What's he going to tell me? I asked you questions. He knew exactly what I was talking about. I'm like, oh, this guy knows his shit. Okay. All right. I'm like, well, what about this? Oh, he knows that too. What about this? Oh, he knows that too. I'm like, you know what? I will take his advice. And that's kind of how it started from there. Like, like I used to go in every single day and he had some sort of great tidbit to tell me and some really good advice. And um, that's how we started talking every single day. And when he was there, I kept trying to. Sometimes people are just destined for better things. And I have a habit like when I meet people, even when I was in real estate, I had people working for me. I could just see it. The guy's mopping the floor. I'm like, no, man, you're gonna be a manager. I can just see it in you. Like you're meant for better things. Every time I saw John sitting there behind the counter, I'm like, nah, this should all be yours. This should be. You should be. You should have one of these because we don't walk in this door for the product. We walk in here for you. And everybody knew when it came to buying stuff, it had a lot to do with, well, who are you talking to when they're selling it to you? Do you enjoy going there? Is it pleasant? Are they knowledgeable? All these qualities make a successful business. If you guys are running a business right now, you are the business guys. It's not just your product. Your product is a secondary thing, but you are your business. How you behave, how you act, whether people come back or not, it has a lot to do with the way you behave. And I always felt that I used to bug him all the time. John, open your own thing up. John, do your own thing. John, do your own thing. And then COVID happened, and then what happened? Tell us what happened after that, where you finally it came to that fruition.
So yeah, I did start part-time worker. So you remember I said earlier I got a BA in psychology. So
Right.
I competed, and then I actually went back to school for accounting. And while I was back in school for accounting, it was only a 2-year program, and I was already a year into it. I started working there because I just signed up to Bev's next door. I just needed a part-time job while I was in school. And yeah, I started as a part-time worker and eventually became a full-time worker and eventually became a manager and then finally became a partner in that store
Right,
actually
right, right.
um, before I ended up leaving. And I'm glad I did spend those 3 years there because I really met and networked a lot there. I wouldn't have been able to necessarily have done what I do now without meeting you and others like you. And of course, I met
I'm sure the suppliers loved you too because they knew you. Like,
right. So I met the vendors, and I met people from the supplement side, and then in the fitness world too, because I would meet everyone from the gym. They would come get their supplements there, and they got to see what I knew, ask me questions just like you did, and
yeah,
get to know me. So I was able to create my brand myself
yep.
while I was there, which set the future for what I do now. So you asked what made me, what changed, why did I leave?
What was the spark? What was it? Well, I mean, listen. I mean, I know why you left.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are listening to this right now from the gym all know why you left.
Right.
We all know what happened. We're all privy to the information. Um,
So to be mature about it and
exactly. I was
not
gonna
even
say
mention names.
no. Just we'll put it
I,
lightly for
I
the
didn't
audience.
get along with my partner. I didn't get along with the person that was in charge originally,
Yeah,
and we butted heads, and it's fine. And when COVID happened and everything shut down, um, she was trying to phase me out of there anyway, but it was a little difficult because I had signed contract, I had shares
yeah.
of the corporation, the LLC. So, um, but with everything shut down, it didn't matter anyway. So I used that time to dissolve my shares, um, and I did create my business during COVID. And just like anyone else, I started out of my garage. I remember having all the supplements
Yep.
come to my garage,
Yep.
and my garage was full. I'm like, okay, I just need a little place to sell to my loyal clientele, the clientele I know that's going to come, and
Yep.
like you,
Yep.
that came there for me and my knowledge, and they can go to Vitamin Shop or anywhere else. They just wanted to pick up this and that. Um, and I started at my friend's gym, who also was defiant and kept his gym open during COVID.
I used to go there.
You did used to go there.
I was like, I need to work out. I know what to do.
So I got a little closet space there. I paid, I think it was 7 grand to kind of fold it out and make it look nice, and then
It was
stocked.
nice. It looked really
It was
good.
with 150
The
square feet.
paint, everything,
Yeah,
it was so well done. You classic sport nutrition, everything everywhere, really nice yellow
it
letters.
was. They can't see this. It was the size of this room,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it was 20 grand of inventory in there, and that little closet during the peak of COVID was on average after the first. It only took a month or two to get to this
Oh,
number.
everybody was coming there.
Yeah, we were doing easily 30 grand to 40 grand in supplement
But
sales a month out of a
everybody,
closet.
if I'd go there, right? You'd always bump into 5 people that you know.
Yeah,
Oh, what's up, man? Where you been? Oh yeah, I'm here to see John too. Oh yeah, me too. What a coincidence. People you don't even get to see in the gym. You're like, oh, there you are. Oh, how you been, man?
yeah,
So it was like just the hub of everything. But I want to say one thing to you guys. For those of you listening and you have a dream, follow it. You don't know what's going to happen, and everything happens for a reason. Him butting heads with the owner or your co-owner, it was a great thing.
it was.
At the time, it seemed like it sucked. We were like, "What's your problem, man? What is this?" Had she not done that, had this person not done that, you wouldn't be where you are. So I would say, everybody, if you go through hard times, guys, don't complain. It's going to lead to something better. Like maybe you'll get to a podcast, and you might be sitting in your basement in the studio you made, and sit next to your buddy hanging out doing a podcast and just chilling. Because I know this wasn't going to happen, and it just did. So never know, guys. And one more thing I want to say to John is I remember the first phone call I got. It was like 3 weeks after you ordered all the stuff to the house. And I said, "What's up? And what you doing?" You're like, "Yo, it's gone." I'm like, "What's gone?" "I'm sold out." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like everything I ordered to the house is gone. I sold everything. I'm like, "Okay, and." I'm not surprised at this point. I'm like, "Yeah, uh huh." You were like kind of surprised. You're like, I have to order more." I'm like, "Yeah, order more, buddy. It's not going to stop. It's only going to get bigger from here." And I remember like you were kind of shocked. You were like, I can't believe that like whatever I order from the suppliers is gone in 3 weeks. I don't even have any inventory left. And that's why when something's meant to happen, man, it's gonna happen for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, for
But one
sure.
one thing John's not telling you, I will tell you guys. Yes, he's knowledgeable. Yes, he knows what he's talking about. Yes, he'll come through. But one thing that you can ask anybody, John's a very, very nice guy. And he might not say it. He might be very humble about it. I have yet to meet one human being. Okay, maybe one.
Is it who I think it is?
Yeah, of course
Yeah.
it is. Oh God, I have yet to meet one human being. That's the one person who doesn't think John's just the nicest guy. Anybody you're like, oh John, oh yeah, nice guy. Oh yeah, really nice guy. And that goes a long way too, because when you're a good human being, it goes a long way, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure.
So now
That's
you own 3 stores, right? Tell us the locations.
so now it's 4 locations.
Oh my God,
It's
I'm missing out.
Farmingdale, the original, although we did move
Right.
last summer, right? And then I have a gym in Port Washington and Glen Cove. I don't own them, but they uh, picked up I guess you would call it almost like a franchise, but they have my stores inside of their gyms.
Right.
And then I have Amityville, which just opened back in January next to Crunch. And that's a huge store. You've been there?
I seen it.
Oh,
I
it's
never got
huge.
a chance to come there. I was too
Yeah.
busy working like an ass in my crazy field of nursing. So
Yeah, that's like the store.
it's a
That's
big, big
it's a
store,
big
guys.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm gonna actually post everything up on my Insta everywhere you guys go. My Instagram, YouTube page. You're gonna see his locations, where they are, any information you guys need. So make sure you have all that. Just want to make sure you guys are well aware. But that's enough business talks. Let's just bullshit for like 5-10 minutes before you get out of here and get some
yeah,
money
for
back.
sure. What can we talk? Fitness, whatever you want. Comics. What do you got?
We got enough fitness bullshit.
I
You
got
guys,
I got one for you. So I still don't get this. I liked The Flash. I thought it
oh
was a
my
good movie.
God,
I thought it was a good movie. I really liked it.
why?
The girl I was with liked it. We liked it.
Where's my daughter?
I don't get what
And
you didn't like. What didn't people like about it?
okay,
I
you know
thought it
what it
was
is?
well
Have you
done.
have you ever seen Flash the show ever?
I never watched the show. No.
Okay, that's why you didn't totally despise the movie. The guy who plays Flash in the show, Grant Gustafson, plays the Flash so well. The Flash is a very noble, super intelligent, sweet, I'll die for you, my family kind of character. And the guy Ezra Miller playing the Flash in the movie, one is a bumbling goddamn fucking moron.
But he was like that in Justice League.
And that sucked
So
too. He was the shittiest character in the movie. I just did a review of Man of Steel, right? Thanking Zack Snyder for all the people he hired, except for Ezra Miller. I'm like, you fucked up. But that's okay. That's one fuck up out of all the people that you hired. I'll let it go. He doesn't match the character at all of the Flash.
it was definitely a different interpretation. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is kind of an idiot and he's kind of
But to make it
young and
worse, there was a dumber version. Like he
stupid.
was already dumb anyway, and there was a more retarded version of him in the movie. I'm like, oh my god, make this go away. And then also, I didn't like that they didn't have Superman in the movie, because in the comic book, they don't find
Yeah.
Kara, they find Kal-El, which is kind of cool because listen, a lot of it has to do with that there was a great. It could have made a great movie using Ben Affleck and using Henry Cavill. It would have been very easy to
Yeah.
do. And the only did is screw them over, screw their contracts over, make a movie that was half what it should have been. In the original, the guy who in Supernatural plays the dad in Supernatural, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. You never seen him? He was in Batman vs Superman as Batman's father for like 5 minutes in the beginning.
Okay.
He's a pretty big dude. He's pretty serious looking. He comes in some action movies too. The original script for Flashpoint for the Flash, he is Batman. Bruce Wayne dies. The father doesn't die
Oh,
in the
in the
comic.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, correct.
So when he changes universes,
It's
Bruce
Thomas.
is
It's Thomas
Thomas
Wayne.
Wayne,
Yeah,
yeah, and he's so much
his
more
son. Bruce died, right?
right,
Yeah,
and he's much more brutal and
yeah.
much worse. And the mom becomes the Joker because she can't take it anymore. It's a really cool universe. Aquaman and Wonder Woman are trying to kill each other because they're married. Now they hate each other. The two factions are at war. It was much. It would have been a great comic. It just I just said this the other day. If you guys never heard my podcast about Zack Snyder, go hear it. The Man of Steel. Zack Snyder would take a comic book and literally make the damn thing come to life. And that's what I'm missing. And that's me and Jeremy were talking about this in our podcast the other time about movies. In the 70s, directors had free reign. Directors were not bothered by anybody. I'm making a movie, leave me the fuck alone. Okay, do whatever you want to do. Now, a director comes on set, 10 guys in suits show up next to him. So, we're planning on shooting today. People show that they like gay guys better. Make the Flash gay. You know what?
He is gay in real life.
I know that's the funny part. You know what? We don't. Can he be bi queer? How about he wears like a pony? Yeah, how about that? It never ends. So they just crept other movies, but that's why I didn't like it because there was so much more could have happened, and it bombed.
But
I understand as a standalone movie that you guys know nothing about, you probably liked it. I understand why.
no, but in this, Marvel Cinematic Universe, like with Thanos, they reinterpret him, right?
To a point, but very little bit, very little.
Well, he was originally in love with death, and in this one, he wants to balance the universe.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I get it wasn't, the exact timeline. They kind of, it was cool. We got Michael Keaton instead. I thought that was pretty good.
that was the one thing I actually liked a lot.
Good.
I think he's a great actor. Whoever played him in that suit and the fight scenes was fantastic. They were really choreographed really well. I thought the Batwing was awesome.
Yeah.
The whole Batcave was
It was sick.
badass.
I thought that was good.
That was really good. But besides that, I gotta tell you, that was the worst movie of the entire summer. I saw so many movies.
That was okay.
And
I'd watch it again. I thought it was okay.
It's
I think it was very weak with the bad guy to have General Zod again. It was kind of lame.
Yeah, that was it was funny in the original comic book movie and then the movie on TV, the animated one. It's the anti-Flash, Eobard Thawne.
Right. Yeah, which makes sense for a Flash
movie. Great
movie.
character.
Yeah.
I mean, even on the TV show, he plays it so well. He's so evil and snarky. And why not just have that in there? It's so simple.
I don't know why. Instead, they made an evil Flash, which was, I guess, their spin on it or something. I don't know.
But when you start making up your own stories and the story already exists, that's usually what happens because people think they're better writers than the actual writers.
Okay, so storyline you didn't like it, but what do you think of the action and the visual effects?
Oh, that's one thing I liked about it.
Okay.
I said that too in my review. I actually thought that the action was great. Like I said, Batman's fighting was so nice. The way he jumped off of people, the batarangs, blowing them up, little bombs on them and stuff.
Yeah,
very
that was great.
Batman-ish. It was cool. Even Supergirl, even though I didn't want to see her in the movie, I liked her. I thought she was good.
Did they have her in Russia because they were revisiting the Red Superman, where he's originally the What If when he's captured by Russia?
No, they just thought it'd be nice to have a girl because it's more.
No, but why was she in that universe captured by Russia instead of did she land in Russia instead of the Soviets?
It's part of the comic book.
Yeah, but with Superman now.
Yeah, Red Sun, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Red Sun, right?
Same thing.
So that was like a play on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is nice. I like that. It's a throwback
cool.
too. I don't want Tina Ash she liked a lot, and I talked about it before. When she's asking Zod, she's like, "Where is Kal-El? Where is Kal-El?"
Oh yeah.
And he goes, "You didn't make it."
Yeah.
Her reaction was really good, where she was like, "No!" Like you felt like she was gonna rip his head off.
But can she, in the comics, would she be able to beat General Zod?
Yeah.
So why'd she lose?
That's
what didn't make sense.
And he got stabbed by him like it was nothing. I'm like, come on, man! Like give her.
Superman beat all three of them, and she couldn't beat one. Come on.
Okay, I have a question for you because this was on my review for Man of Steel, and this is the most. It's even online a debate, and I'll never understand this damn thing. You've seen Superman 2, right? Was the original? Was General Zod, Christopher Reeve?
With Christopher Reeves, yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Did Superman not kill Zod in the end when Zod was helpless and weakless? Did he not throw him into the water?
Oh, I thought in that movie he sent them back into the other dimension.
No. He literally picks them up like this.
No, he reverses their power.
Yeah.
So he reverses the powers, and he
crushes his hand.
Instead of him losing the powers, the other three lose it, and then he crushes his hand. And does he flick him? I don't really remember.
Flicks him into the water, kills him, and then Lois Lane knocks out the woman and kills her, and the Beast tries to fly and dies. Okay, so all three had died.
They die? I don't remember.
Yeah, I love how nobody remembers that, right? But Man of Steel, Zod is about to kill a family, and Henry Cavill has to stop him, and he snaps his neck, and all of a sudden everybody's all upset.
I didn't think that was that big of a deal.
I didn't either, but even if you go online right now, if I Google it right now, bro, it
Yeah,
is like the most talked about thing. Superman killed. I'm like, that was he was helpless. In Christopher Reeve Superman, he had no mercy. He
yeah.
laughed. He was like, ha ha, die, Zod.
Superman has killed people in the comics.
I know, but
It's not that.
I think it's so silly. Like when we have these debates sometimes, that it makes no sense. Because I'm like, listen, I've seen all this. You've all seen all this. Why do you guys pretend like when Batman killed the Batman versus Superman? I have no idea that's such a big deal. I know it's anti to Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Yeah, I think that's the only
I,
Batman source they have, though.
I get it, but
They
like,
only seen the Nolan Batman, and they think Batman it will never kill, and that's maybe they don't understand that there's so many different carnations of
and
Batman.
Batman is
He kills.
such a. I mean, he is vengeful. He is vengeance.
Yeah,
So my favorite scene in that is when the guy stabs him. He looks at him like, really? And he guts him like a fish. I'm like, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's I mean, the thing Batman is this like this noble character that will never touch anybody. That's what
I
he
don't know where they got that. They got that from Christopher Nolan.
yeah, and that's another thing. I was talking to Jeremy about this because he loves old school directors. Nolan's a good director, but Nolan he's not perfect when it comes to scripts either. I think the third Batman was totally screwed up.
He's an action movie guy. He doesn't. He's not a. He's not the
Right.
guy for comics. I wouldn't
But
ask
he
him
makes
comic questions.
Oppenheimer and two movies like that too. He's a good director in
Yeah, he's
general.
a good director. He makes great movies,
Yeah,
cinematic
yeah.
movies, but he can only do so much with the source material if he doesn't understand it. He's not well versed with it, and
I
maybe
guess that's what it is. Because in the last movie, I just didn't understand why Batman, after breaking his back, didn't fall into the Lazarus pit. They didn't find Ra's al Ghul's pit, and he just becomes like 30 years younger. All of a sudden, goes back to Gotham, beats the crap out of everything.
it.
It's so
Um,
simple.
I mean, in fairness too, I think after the second movie, The Dark Knight, nothing was really gonna
That's very true
stand
too.
next
Stand
to it.
next to that, the Heath Ledger's performance. Yeah, you're right.
Bane was a good villain. Tom Hardy did awesome. The plot was a little all over the place.
But you're also right in that, like, it's like you're trying to top Heath Ledger, and
Yeah,
that
that was
was
tough.
one of the best performances of all time, in of any character at all I've seen. I mean, it was brilliant. I remember I saw it like 3 times in the movie theater.
I still watch it. When it comes on TV. I just instantly watch it.
Anything you're looking forward to seeing the next couple of months?
Is anything coming out with the writer strike? What's even? I'm trying to think what's
The new
out.
Exorcist coming out next month.
I've been watching Ahsoka. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I don't know if you're into that
And
though.
what do you think? I want to know what you think.
I just finished the first episode. I'm trying not to talk too much because I want to wait till I get to the Anakin episode and see
I
what.
know,
I
I
heard
know.
it's very good.
I'm excited about that too.
Did you watch it?
I
Have you been watching
wanted.
it?
I promised my little niece Umber. Hey, how are you? I let her watch it first and then tell me if I should or not because I'm afraid I won't like it. And I love Hayden Christensen as Anakin, and I want to
Yeah.
enjoy it. So I didn't expect like Obi-Wan. I loved Obi-Wan. I thought it was gonna like suck because people in the gym are so weird, man. People in the gym is like, oh, Obi-Wan was horrible. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to.
It didn't get. It got mixed reviews. It didn't get great reviews.
And then Lou was like, no, you will like it. I'm like, really? And I saw it, man. I was like a kid jumping out of my seat
Yeah,
at the
that's
time,
nice.
especially the end when his mask halfway comes off, and then that dialogue where he's like, "I'm sorry, I failed you," and he goes, "No, you didn't kill Anakin. I killed Anakin."
That's great.
I was like, "Oh, these are just iconic dialogues that I love." But what do you think about Star Wars? What they want to do? They want to come out with 3 new movies, and one is going to be in Episode 10.
They're doing episode 10. I thought they were gonna do 3 movies with the Old Republic.
No, no. So it's like that's thank you.
Oh, they are doing a trilogy after
Yeah,
the sequels. I
yeah.
think it's terrible. I
I
hated
couldn't
it.
remember what actually, but they're doing an Old Republic. They're
That
doing
would be nice.
yeah,
I
and
think
they're
that's nice.
doing what Episode 10.
But it's gonna have nothing to do with the Skywalkers or Rey. It's gonna just be after Episode 9, but nothing in another part of the
No,
universe.
yeah,
Nothing to do
it's
with.
starting all over again, basically.
Really?
So
You sure?
that's what they were saying. That's what I read online that they want to
I don't
start.
know. They don't know what to
No, no,
do.
no. Episode 10, Rey's going to start the Jedi Temple again.
Oh god.
She's going to be like the new Yoda. I'm actually not looking forward. I'm looking forward to the Old Republic. Actually, that's what I'm looking
The Old
forward to.
Republic be sick. I mean,
That is the beginning of the Jedi, which is going to be awesome to watch.
I
How they came to be.
that'd be nice. Because the Old Republic is good, and how it ended, I fucking hate Rey.
You're the
So
only one, man.
I,
So what do you? Okay, this
it's
is
the only
a
time I'll
funny.
curse in your podcast. I fucking
No,
hate
you can curse. I think it's funny. This is fucking turned into a Star Wars podcast because
Jeez.
I was going to talk about this on Friday with Jeremy, but he's, one thing I always tell him, like, I know he loves the originals, but we got to talk about today what's relevant. And the most relevant is the new ones that came out, so kids all saw.
They fucking suck.
And I didn't understand, the original story. If you guys don't know what it was, when they wrote it, after they took it from Lucas, and Lucas actually had a totally different story. It was all about Skywalker's kids.
Yeah.
And they screwed that up and said, no, we went to do something different with a woman. Okay, fine.
Well, I think Rey was originally a Skywalker. That's
Yeah.
where the name came from.
Yeah, actually,
right?
No.
What Kylo was the.
Yeah, he was
he
Skywalker.
was, yeah.
And then what the original story with her was, the first movie is about the same. There's a reason, guys, if you watch the movie, when she touches the lightsaber of Anakin, she sees Anakin's life. It's Luke Skywalker's too, right? She doesn't see Luke Skywalker's life. She keeps seeing Anakin's life playing through her head. In the end, when she goes to Luke and she says, I know it. You left me because I'm your daughter, right? That's why you left me. And the movie ends with him going, no, you're my father. That's why I left you. Because it's the incarnation of the one being born again. And he felt it when she was born.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you will always go to the dark side. It's what your soul is meant to do. And I'm not risking that ever training you. It made sense. And then they're like, oh, people won't understand reincarnation. It's too difficult. Let's just add in a secondary character. Let's make him black on purpose for no reason.
Yeah.
And let's just make it that Luke is just angry all of a sudden. Do you have any idea how angry Mark Hamill was about that shit?
He hated it. He's an OG Star Wars guy.
He was like, let me get this straight. The hope of the all universe became an angry old man.
And he gave up hope.
Yeah.
The original Star Wars trilogy was about hope. Everything about it was about hope and Luke having hope and never losing hope, and that's how he got his father to turn back, and then he just loses hope.
It was bad. It was funny. Like everybody, I don't think anybody liked those movies, but it is what it is. What do you think about? I don't know. Jamie didn't want to answer this question. He probably won't answer either. What do you think about politics in general right
now? Well, the current economic situation is unfavorable, so we could use a change, and the guy in charge right now is not doing a very good job with it. So gas is high, inflation's high.
He's a moron.
Yeah.
This is the worst America has ever been in the history.
But he's not making the decisions. He's a puppet.
I agree with you.
So
yeah, he's just a puppet.
He's a puppet to them. Say what you want about Trump, but he didn't listen to the inner deep state, which is why they don't want him.
They don't want him there. So he's just trying to get rid of everybody and do his own thing. Now they really can't afford to have him there because now he's like, I'm firing all of you.
He can't be controlled by them. He can't be paid off by them.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if you ever heard of
Jamie wouldn't answer this.
Jamie said his nieces are all very liberal and he would like to not get.
Oh God.
I was like, okay, but he honestly said, "Listen, I don't know as much as you do, anyway." So
yeah,
that's true. Yeah, but have you heard of Vivek Ramaswamy at all? The other guy running for president.
I like what he. I think he's how do I say? He's very well spoken and he's knowledgeable. And he relates more to us, and he's closer to our age.
Absolutely.
And he's a pro-Trump guy. He's a pro. He's got conservative values, and I like what he says. But I also like what DeSantis says too.
People think that he's playing. You think he's playing? He's not really running for president, but running for vice president. Because him and Trump are always kissing each other's ass.
If he ran for vice president with Trump, I would definitely.
It's done. So I would love it.
This is the part where having 4 locations. All right, where were we? Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that. What if he does run as vice president with them?
Because they're always kissing each other's ass.
He loves him.
They're like, oh, what do you think of Trump? He's the greatest president we ever had.
Yeah.
Hey, Trump, what do you think about Vic? Great guy, really smart. I really like him. Everybody's like, wait a minute. They talk shit about everybody else except for each other. Like it's kind of like it's kind of.
You might be right. I mean, if he had to pick a vice president to run with, who would he pick?
That's the guy.
He wouldn't pick DeSantis.
No, DeSantis. I didn't even know that. I feel bad. I don't know if you know this. I know that DeSantis was autistic. Did you know that?
I was in the audience.
No, he really is. I didn't know that.
Oh, because you're saying the way he's been handling.
He seriously he can't talk to people because he's autistic. It's very hard for him.
I don't think so. He
No,
puts
no,
the
I'm serious.
coherent speeches and on the spot questions. He's good.
He can't look at anybody. So there's people that already have been witness to it.
You saying he's autistic or socially awkward?
No, no, like he has touch autism. Like he can't look at you in the face and talk to you. It's very hard to look at you directly and
Some people are like that, social awkward.
yeah, but that they said they didn't want to, they didn't obviously don't want to admit to it because it looks bad. You know, you have a president who's autistic, but he has touch of autism. It's very hard. That's why he's so when he speaks, it's very to the point. There's no humor. There's no personality.
I don't
Cause
know. I've seen him make jokes about Biden and
he
stuff.
tries,
I
but
don't think so.
he's more dry than. That's why he's not doing well in the polls.
Well, I just don't think anyone. They'll probably come runner up, but who's beating Trump? I mean,
Nobody.
no one's.
Nobody.
No one's not.
Honestly, the only
That's a waste
person
of a primary. No
is
one.
literally three people up right now. Trump, number two right now in a lot of polls is Vivek Ramaswamy.
And it's flip flopped with DeSantis
Yeah,
right
it
here.
goes back and forth.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
exactly.
lot.
Yeah,
Because people, when Vivek gets on TV, people are like, "Yeah, that's the guy. Yep, that's the
yeah.
guy." You know, knows what he wants
He's
to
much
say.
better at public speaking a little bit than DeSantis. He's very
But another thing about Vivek,
charismatic.
another great thing about, like you said, he's a self-made billionaire, bro.
Yeah,
He don't need nobody's money.
yeah.
You can't buy him off. He's like, "Buy me off what? I can buy you." So he'll do whatever the hell he wants to do. He's filthy, filthy, filthy rich, which makes it a lot easier to have politicians like that because they can't be bought by anybody. They'll do whatever they want to do.
Right. I like what he says. You're correct. Everything he says, I listen. I'm like, wow.
Did I tell you? I think I told Pat. I was so shocked when I first heard his name almost a year ago. I was like, here we go. Another stupid fucking Indian. I'm Indian, guys, so I can do what the hell I want, okay? Now, and most Indians are Democrats. I have no idea why. Why they come to this country, work their ass out to vote for socialism, give their money away. I don't know. Maybe they want to work at three McDonald's and then be like, oh, I'm so happy I worked so hard. Would you like to take half my money? Why don't you sit on the floor and I give you $2? I don't. It doesn't make no sense to me. So I heard the name. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then I heard him talking. I'm like, what? He
Yeah.
has a brain. He's smart. He wants capitalism. He understands the country. I'm like, oh my god, because we're at the point right now in this country where it's never been worse. Everything costs so much damn money, and there's no jobs. And as a nurse, I could barely find a job, guys. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
2 years ago, if I wanted a job in 2 days, I had a job. Literally, it was like I want a job. Boom, there's three offers. Now it's like a month and a half. It's like, can you talk to them again, please? I'll take a lower salary. And that's just the way this country is, and the whole world is heading in that place right now. So I really hope somebody else wins because we need them to. You know what's really funny? I never asked you, and all these years of knowing you, what music do you like?
Late '90s, early 2000s. It could be rap, alternate rock, pop. But that uh, time range from when I was probably in middle school to
Middle
early
school,
high
high
school.
school.
Yeah. So you got Linkin Park in there, but you also got 50 Cent in there and G in it.
I do like 50 Cent a lot. It's
Yeah,
funny. Kind of stuck in that era too.
there's good stuff. You even got some alternative rock and pop in there. You got everything in that.
What do you think of today's garbage?
Oh, I can't even name you any. I definitely can't name you any rap artist. Not even one. I don't understand the current rappers. I don't get what they do. I don't get their
They
rap.
suck, man.
I try to. I try because in the early 2000s when Southern rap and artists that were after Tupac and Biggie came, and they were getting a lot of heat, but they panned out well, and I'm trying to give it a chance. But
You mean like Nelly and all them?
yeah, Nelly and like Lil Wayne, he got a lot of hate when he started, and
That's true.
all
That's
these
true.
guys, and like Drake was like the first. And Lupe Fiasco, they kind of went away from gangster rap and started doing leading into what it is now. But I don't know what it is now. I can't even name you a song. So
I barely even know any Drake songs, man. Like I know like one or two, and that's about it. Like
yeah,
I'm still the same. And it's really funny. My daughter is not our age. You're younger than me. She's younger than you, and she prefers '90s rap.
it's good.
She prefers
You can
Biggie,
understand it. It's good.
Tupac. She loves Eminem, loves Dre. It's just funny to me because she has an option to hear today's stuff, and she's growing up in today's world. She's like, Dad, bullshit, sucks. I'm like, really? She's like, Daddy, it's horrible.
I don't understand if it's talent or if it's social media now. Like look at Logan Paul and Jake Paul. I had
Oh my god.
no idea, but I had no idea who they were up until a year or two ago.
The boxing match? Is that why?
Just anything, but the kids all knew them from
Yeah,
YouTube, and I
yeah,
had no idea that they were popular. I had no idea kids even watched YouTube and how popular
yeah,
YouTube was, and
yeah.
like all these current artists and YouTube guys are so popular with the kids, and I don't know,
Well,
I don't know any of them.
the one thing I am actually very well, I have a daughter, so at least I knew who they were. But I'm thankful to the young media for one thing. I had no idea who Andrew Tate was. And I
Yeah,
love that
yeah, that's
man.
true.
I love listening to him. I mean, he says it like he should say it. I've been saying that for years. I know somebody else is saying the same thing. We're the men, we're the guys.
Yeah,
You know, the things we stand for that we used to do, like see the younger generation, they never been in a fight, they never stood up for themselves, they don't stand up for anybody else either. They can tower down to everything. It just that foundation that we grew up with, like whatever your dad shows you, whatever I saw growing up, it's not there anymore.
no,
And then along comes this guy who's like puts everybody in their place and is actually uplifting for most men.
I am a big fan of the Tate brothers,
Yeah,
but would you consider them? I don't know. Would you consider them YouTube guys? Would you consider them even more so, almost like
it's
in
actually
the realm of politics? Like they
he
kind
was
of like
he was a TikTok guy. What happened was,
was he? That's where he got
yeah,
started. I see. I don't know.
what happened was he said some shit like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah,
When he wasn't famous, okay, when nobody really knew him, and it was out there. It was like if you take a clip of you saying something, but it's so out there about like beating women or something like that.
yeah.
Totally not true what he was saying, but it was in the context of something, and that shit became viral.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, this guy's crazy. Who is he?" Then you got to know who he was. Like, well, he owns all these Lamborghinis, Ferraris. He's rich. What happened? And then we started talking more about who he really was. And you hear him saying, like, be the best you can be. Be the best man you can be. Be rich. Be awesome. Be strong. Be a protector. Be everything. Be a fighter. Be a lover. That's your goddamn duty as a man. I'm like, oh my god, this is what I've been saying forever. Where does this guy come from?
Right.
And then I realized that he's just self-made. That's why he's like that.
Yeah.
And I heard him today. Actually, was talking. He's like, see what's happened to Russell Brand. He's like, that's what they did to me
Yeah.
because I
Sure.
spoke up. And he's like, this is going to happen, Russell. You open your mouth, tell everybody what's happening around the world, what the government's doing. They're going to cancel you in every way possible. He's losing radio shows. He's losing
But
podcasts.
I'm only surprised it didn't happen sooner to him
I am too, because
because he's been
with
doing it
that
for a
that was
while.
like been a year ago when he was on that TV show. I think it was that his TV show was. And he went off and he was like talking with the pharmaceuticals, so they made all this money, and what the drug companies are doing, and how you guys don't care. And I was like, oh my god, like this guy's dead. Like
Yeah.
I was
I don't
like,
know how he lasted this long.
so I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, they felt like maybe he's not shutting up. Maybe that'll be a one-off, and
And he was
then
very anti
oh yeah,
COVID vaccine, anti COVID
absolutely.
policies, and I'm surprised they didn't cancel him right there.
We think about that bullshit, man. They're talking about another vaccine coming
I
out.
They can make all the vaccines they want as long as they don't try to mandate it again. We're fine.
I'll tell you, man. Honestly, like a lot of people don't want to say it to me. Doctors kind of put me to the side. They're like, your kidneys.
Did you get a COVID shot?
I didn't have a choice.
Oh, oh
I wasn't
shit!
even given a damn choice. I was told shot or lose your job. Pick one. I
It's possible,
I got
right?
on the last day that I had to get in the hospital,
Damn.
and I went into convulsions. It was so bad. It was 8:30 at night. The girl I was dating at the time, very sweet girl. I love you too. I'm like, we need to go home now. And she's like, no, we're not done yet. I'm like, we need to go home now. She would listen to me, and my hands started shaking and started like really shaking. I'm like, oh my god, what's wrong with me? And my back started shaking, and my teeth started shaking. I just tried running to the car, but as I'm running to the car, everybody's like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like my head is shaking, I'm shaking. Dude, when I got to the car, I thought my teeth were gonna break.
Jeez.
They were shaking so hard. I couldn't. I was freezing. I had the heat on blast. I had a freaking blanket on me. I sleep in my car all the time. And she's like, where are you? I'm like, come to the car, come to the car. And luckily we're both nurses, so she was like, she goes, go to the ER. I'm like, I am not going to the ER. I will die in this car first. I am not going to the ER. So she took me home. Advil, Tylenol, like 4 blankets, a comforter. I shook for about 7 hours
Jeez.
until I finally passed out. And then the next day I was exhausted. But who knows what the fuck that thing did to my system, man? And we
Hmm.
had to take it. We didn't have a choice.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Well, I'm definitely not wearing a damn mask. I'm sorry, that's not ever happening.
No, I'll never wear one of those
We
again.
actually
I don't
saw
give a
somebody
shit.
the other day wearing one.
Where?
I think at the gas
Oh my
station,
god.
and we were all staring at her. It was a lady, of course,
Yeah,
and we're all
whatever.
looking at her like, "What are you doing? Really? Like, yeah, they're gonna tell you to wear that damn thing, and you're just gonna wear it again? Really?
it, it, Fozzie said it doesn't work.
It
So
doesn't do anything.
Fozzie said it
For
doesn't do
those of you
shit.
who swear it does, because Anthony Fauci says it does. First of all, you're listening to him. Shame on you.
But he said it doesn't.
Yeah, but he says it now. But the beginning he said it did. And if you don't believe him, do all research you can read about it. It
Doesn't help.
protects against nothing. At the most, sneezing right out of your mouth so it doesn't go anywhere real quick. You think germs aren't flying in and out of that mask? You think wearing the same dirty, filthy mask every day is good for you? Take a look at those when you're done. They're black from the inside. That's all the dirt you're consuming over and over again. So, hey, listen, everybody who listens to this, do what you want to do. I would talk to your doctor. Take advice, but don't take my advice. Do whatever you want to do. I am personally never wearing one. That's just not gonna happen. John's not wearing one, but yeah, you guys do what you want to do. It's up to you. Question: I was wondering this the other day.
Yes.
You're doing well now.
Yeah.
You still drive the same Jeep you drove before. You don't want to buy a car or something? You're not into cars at all?
Um. So I ended up, yeah, I bought out this Jeep just because there's so many damn miles on it from the business. I've been looking into other cars. I have actually.
I was thinking
I've
about
been
the
meaning to
other day.
ask you what you recommend. I need a more, luxury car to take out, date stuff, and not really
Totally
sure what to
depends,
get.
man. I mean,
I don't need it this exact moment. Don't forget, in January I opened up Amityville, and
yeah,
that
yeah,
was a six-figure investment. So like, I'm not rushing to
yeah, but
get a new car, but it is on within a year on the list, but I'm not sure what exactly I want to do. I was looking
if
at
you
Porsches. I was looking
really
around.
get, yeah, if you really get into cars, man, they're just kind of such a black hole. It's never filled that hole either. So I just spent money on my car.
Your car's nice.
Yeah, I just got new rims and tires. And the second I got them, I called Eric back up. Eric, shout out, and I'm like, I want more. He's like, what do you want now? I'm like, not big enough. I need bigger. He's like, you have 345s on there. That tire is bigger than everybody's freaking Jeep. I'm like, no, it's not big enough. So I'm about to go get a spacer actually so I can add an engine.
Well, you got a car that you can kind of deck out and do stuff with because
It's
it's
well, it's one
technically a sports
reason people
car.
ask me why I buy especially Mustangs.
Right.
They're the most modifiable car in America.
Yeah.
The most parts available, and the engine is so solid it comes ready for a supercharger. There's, like every other car, if you get a Camaro, if you get a Challenger, you guys listen to this right now, you will have to modify the engine. You'll have to do new um, spark plugs and new fuel injectors and to keep up with the horsepower. The Mustang, nothing, nothing. Slap a supercharger on there, 200 horsepower extra, you're good to go right away. So that's why the 5.0 is considered one of the best engines in the world, actually, because it can handle anything right away off the factory. You're looking at 450 horses stock, just coming in right away. So
A nice car. I don't think I could envision myself getting that as my second,
I don't see
my
you
other
getting it.
car, but
No, I see you
it suits
more
you for
more in
sure.
a luxury car, more
That's what I
something.
would get. I just don't know what. Yeah.
I like Porsches, man. Actually,
Porsche's a nice. My uncle had a. What do you have? I don't remember what he had, but I was actually gonna potentially buy his because he moved down south and he left it in my garage. Oh, I don't know. It was stick. I can't drive stick.
I'll
I
teach you,
said, "Is it?
dude.
Yeah, no,
You
I don't
see
want
that
stick.
see the room behind you? There's a simulator in the room behind you.
I
Literally, I just taught my daughter how to drive on that, and
can't
she
do
gets
it.
it. It's really easy. And you know the funny part is, once you start driving stick, you will never want to drive a manual car,
I
an
know,
automatic
but
car.
you're on the highway in traffic. It's just
It
it's so
it
much
sounds
here.
rough. I'm telling you. Once you get used to it, I I hate driving automatic cars now. It's no fun.
I don't want fun.
Okay, I guess I really
That's why you
love
have a
driving.
Mustang.
It's
I
true. I do love driving. So
just want to drive.
I guess
Have it
that's
look
true.
good.
So before we go, one last thing. This my podcast is about culture. What do you think about today's culture with Instagram, Facebook, and all that? Like, do you think when we grew up it was easier? Do you think it's harder today for kids?
Um, I think in some ways it seems to have it can have a positive influence. The fitness industry is at an all-time high.
Yeah,
Any part of it, the supplement part, the bodybuilding part, gyms, just the whole industry itself is at an all-time high and appeals to the highest demographic it's ever appealed to because of social media. It made it
That's
cool.
true.
When we were working out in high school,
Oh, why?
I'm sure you got all the
I
circus
got you
freak
must eat your
comments.
Wheaties. There's something
Yeah,
wrong with you. Put the weight
it was
down.
so you were shamed for
Yeah.
big time for bodybuilding, and it's not like something you can hide because they looked at you and knew like you worked out hard. And now it's 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds
Yeah.
posting their bench press, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like that. So
And they
it's
aesthetically
cool.
look pretty good at 13, 14
But it's
for
nice that
their
they're
age.
encouraging it because when we were doing that, they were shaming us for that.
Oh,
As
I
stupid as
remember
it is,
being
but
in the locker in the weight room in the senior year. And everybody's like looking. My arms are pretty big for. I look like a man, not a kid.
right.
And everybody was like, "Oh, like just making fun of me." They're like, "What's this
Yeah,
guy doing?" Like,
we
for
got
what?
made fun of for being fit. It's crazy, and I was definitely I'm sure by the time I was in my last year of high school, people were scared, so they didn't say anything. But they were also to
That was
themselves steroids, and this
yeah, yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah.
17-year-old is gonna take steroids. Okay,
I went through
but
that in college, even though that was natural till about 20. It's funny. I only did it for a short period of time to get a little bigger. And then I got hurt, and then I was like, I don't need this right now. But then I found out that my through actually guys through stress can really kill you. The stress of working for all those years, you guys heard about my past, between property management and everything else. But my two-day gland shut down. I had no testosterone anyway, so I need tests.
yeah,
So I'm on TRT because I have to be. But the funny part is, like, you have to really know your PEDs also. I tell everybody if you're gonna do something, ask questions, please, because you don't know what you're doing. And I was talking this the other day with somebody else, Jamie, the cycles these kids are doing, man.
oh jeez,
Like we hear about this shit. And we're like, what are you guys talking about? That like trend is like candy to them. Like, do you? They call the trend twins. But the funny part is,
right.
they said they only done trend once. I don't know if I believe it or not. They say they have. They're huge for kids. Granted, they've been training for like 10 years, but I don't know, guys. Like, I'm gonna say it again. If you choose to do PEDs, just know it's gonna alter your life forever. Um, it's very rare you can be really intelligent about it and live your life through it. If you're gonna do it, man, if you're not getting on stage, I don't know why you're doing it. To be honest with you, if you're not gonna give there for a show or something, it's really unnecessary. You work hard for years, you get the results anyway. So I don't really see the point. But I mean, that's what you probably tell. You have so many clients. What do you tell them?
So, and that's I think your original question was the influence of social
Yeah,
media, and
yeah.
that's the as popular and positive as it's been. It also publicized and made popular a lot of misconceptions too. Like you said, these steroids are great for you, and
Yep.
if you're depressed, take steroids and work out and take tren, and it's made a whole mess too, and it spread a lot of misinformation and misconceptions. And it's so hard to clear it up to these kids because you can't
No,
argue with a 14-year-old. They'll never admit they're
and their
wrong. You
minds are
cannot.
saturated with this shit from looking at it all
Yeah,
the
but
time.
you ever have a conversation with a teenager? Try telling them they're wrong about something. You have a kid.
It's hard. Actually, it's harder in the gym. My kid listens a little more than me. There's a few kids actually that you know, I won't name their names in the gym, and they just don't
They don't
listen.
listen. They don't listen, and
Like
they
they
don't.
ask, you tell, that okay. Next thing you ask them, so did you do that? No, no, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm like, what the hell? Then why'd you ask
It's
me, man?
and when we were younger before this, no one spoke about this. You maybe would talk to the meathead at the gym about it, but like
Yeah,
unfortunately, spreading around cycles has spread around a lot of misinformation. It's just crazy what's
I used to have
going on.
a really good older friend. He was like a dad to me, basically. He was a really great guy. Older brother type, I guess you could say. He was like him. He's retired now. He's like 68 years old. He left New York like 3 years ago. But his whole life he's competing as a kid, so his whole life he's been on something or another. He's telling me, he's like, Ken, the key is barely doing any, barely doing
Yeah,
any, and then I switch compounds every once in a while just to give my body a little boost, here and there. But he's like, I barely do a CC just like that here and there just to maintain myself, and the rest is nutrition, hard work, consistency. That's it.
that's the problem. They don't do those last ones until they start the first one, and it should be the other way around. So
Not even that. As soon as they stop the drugs, they stop everything else.
But they never were doing the nutrition and
Yeah,
training. They were lifting like idiots, eating like idiots, and they just assume that the reason they're not progressing is they're not taking enough steroids, and then they start the steroids and they're not doing that stuff anyway. So
I know. And just so you guys know, when it comes to John and training, not only is he a trainer, but I always joke about this. He's the trainer's trainer. I have several trainers I know. He's their trainer. If you guys can get it, so like he's like Yoda. Like basically, like he's like when Luke Skywalker can't figure it out, he's like, "I'll be right back, John. What should I do with my client? I don't know. His little bad lower back. What do you think?" Like everybody goes to John for everything. So it's not like he just like he's very modest about it as like he's just a regular trainer. He's not. By this read, guys, I don't listen to anybody. I am extremely, extremely stubborn. I think it was before COVID, right? I was like, "Fine, John, do my diet." Is it really? I'm like, yeah, I'll listen to you. And I gotta tell you guys, I had never experienced getting leaner and stronger in my life. I always done everything ass backwards and bad and detrimental to myself because I have bad habits and bad body dysmorphia. But John's like, just listen to me and don't listen to yourself. I did. And I remember like week 4, I'm like, John, I got stronger. He's like,
yeah,
okay, and like, but I got skinnier. He's like, yeah, and like, that's what's supposed to happen, Ken. I'm like, really? Like, never happened before. So it just, guys, if you have trainers out there, know your trainer. I mean, me and John, you remember this horror story before we go about this girl that I won't mention names, friend of mine, and she has somebody training her, and the girl like totally screwed her over. Didn't teach her shit, didn't do anything. She wanted her to compete, but gave her no thermogenics, like no help at
oh right,
all.
yeah, I remember.
And I was like, we need to go see John like now, like please. And like we
Yeah,
got there, and right away she lost like 6 pounds like in 2 weeks
yeah.
because taking all the right things. But she was just duped by somebody who didn't really give a shit about her. No, no, it's sad because she's paying her hundreds of dollars for nothing.
That's the state of the industry, the coaching industry, the competing industry. You gotta, like you said, hire your coach, your trainer, and make sure they're not just the most popular guy on Instagram, or just because they coached this one person that did well, or just because they competed once or twice and did well. You got to really
Yeah, that
get
happens a
someone.
lot.
Yeah,
If somebody wins a competition, oh, I need his coach. That guy
yeah.
won. I don't think I was not genetically gifted. Like
Or the
it's
guy won the competition starts coaching when he never knew
yeah, no,
anything, and only just repeating what his coach told him, and
that happens a lot,
that's
guys. The
just
cookie cutter diet, the cookie
that's
cutter
just what
workout.
it is.
They write the program that you could read yourself online on YouTube,
Right.
and you just wasted $100 for nothing because a coach should be teaching you what you're doing every single time, why you're doing it, and what the point of it is. If you're not learning at the same time, you're wasting your money.
Absolutely.
Anybody can sit there and count reps for you while they hold their coffee from Dunkin' Donuts and be like, 1, 2, 3. So I went back to Russian again because this is my experience from Rego Park. All the Russian trainers, it was okay. You do back now. You pull down. Yes, go 1, 2 more. Come on, 2 more. Like they no idea they don't care what they're doing and nothing, just counting reps and getting paid $200 for a session. I'm like, are you kidding me? I can count reps,
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. I
but
mean,
you see it everywhere. Like I was gonna say. All right, before we go, future plans. What's the next 5 years look like to you?
um, I'd like to um, stabilize the shops a little more, get more systems in place, get people I know that can take care of it, and phase myself away from them. I'm a little burnt out with originally when I started the whole supplement thing, it was to prove a point and it was to blow whoever it was out the water. And then once I did that,
That
I'm
was a
kind of
long
like,
time ago.
yeah. So
That happened in the first 2 months.
I don't know. But now it's kind of like, yeah, it's it's nice money, but it's also it's retail, and it's times it by four, and people, it's tough. Customers aren't loyal, and people aren't loyal, and I go above and beyond. I don't just give
Always, always.
I don't just sell a supplement. If I know you, I'll discount you. I'll give you all the advice for free, and
Yep.
then I'll find out the next time they needed a supplement, they went here for it, or they ordered it, then they paid more, and they didn't get the advice. And I'm like, why? They're like, oh, it was next door. I'm like, I'm 5 minutes from you. I would have dropped what? And
Yeah.
like, you paid extra. And then here they are with the audacity to ask me advice on. I'm like, no, go ask the fucking place you just bought it from. I'm not helping out now.
And
Like,
and and John's so
come
nice.
on.
If you bust him and you couldn't get to him, he'll bring it to you. He's like, "Oh, I'll
I'll
bring
bring
it
it
to you."
to whatever. It's local. It's not a
Yeah.
big. We
Oh,
do
you're
that. We
going to
do
the
deliveries.
gym? I'll come by with it. Don't worry about it.
So to buy it from somewhere else and then expect me to still give you advice, and it's just people. It's retail, so I like training people. I really do. That's my thing. So I like to kind of phase myself out of the stores. And right now, I have a few prospects that are looking to do something potentially with
Okay.
supplements. And from here on forward, it's just going to be franchising. Just there's my name, there's a catalog.
Right.
Cut me a check at the end of every month. I'll tell you what to order, and that's it. I want no involvement. I don't put any money into this. Whatever you guys do, you do, and you cut me a percentage, like a franchising fee.
It's smart.
That's
Your training is like personally helping people. It's totally different.
yeah, I enjoy it way more.
It's much more fulfilling. It's like when I go to work as a nurse and I come home, I help somebody today. I feel better about myself,
Right.
So it's different. There's a podcast. We're talking to people right now. You don't know who we just helped or things we just said.
Sure.
And that means more than just, going and I know it's your own business, but let me tell you, your friends miss you, okay? We
Yeah, I
talk
know. I feel bad. I'm so busy, but
we
it's
talk
tough.
about it all the time. We're like, anybody seen John? Have we heard from John? No.
Uh,
So and we know you're really busy, so we're all
it's
very proud of you.
it's
You've
a
done it.
lot. I appreciate it.
But everybody's very. We're all also, like I said, very proud of you, all of us. As a friend, how far you've come and where you are in life, and the stores and the clients, and I mean, well, of course, we're your friends. We're very happy for you, but we miss hanging out with you.
Yeah. To put it, to put this in perspective, you asked me to do this podcast, and I trained 5 people this morning. I got my own workout in right after. I was at one store location. I went to the next store location, and then I trained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Not all, I clumped some of
I
them
know, I
together.
know.
So I don't know how many total people I trained today. And then when I finished at 8, whatever, I texted you.
Yeah,
Came all the way out here just because I know I have to do it. I can't not do it. I can't be a shitty friend. I said that Pat this morning. You're gonna go after work. I can't be a shitty friend. I have to go.
I really,
I gotta get
it's
out there and do
10:30
it.
at night right now. He's gonna go
Yeah,
home, go to sleep, and he doesn't live close to here.
I live an
And
hour away from here. I'm gonna go home, go to sleep, and start again at 8 a.m.
yep,
and do
that's
all
why you
over.
didn't say 5 because I know how much you changed because I remember I called you on a Sunday. You're like, "Yeah, I've been training since 5." I'm like, "What is Sunday?
Yeah.
What happened?" I
Yeah.
understand that. That's how crazy it's been. But you know what, man? You had a plan. That's your 5-year plan.
Yep.
Follow it. You know.
Yeah. Phase out my need to be involved with the stores, and future stores are just franchises only, and get back to just focusing more on training. And I could just train a handful of people a day, and be more than set, and just
Yeah. You can
have my
also
weekends off.
you also have time for relationships at that point because right now I'm sure it's very hard for you in general.
I don't know about that. It's always time for the
I know
girls
you
in there.
you
Yeah.
make time, but it's not. You could have more time. Let's put it that way.
I could have more time,
I'm
sure.
sure whoever it is, whoever your partner is, they understand because you're busy. But
Yeah,
I'm just saying in general, it's easier when you have more time for them as well,
definitely.
especially as
Yeah,
relationships progress. Because in the beginning, you see each other here and there, it's okay. They make time when they can, but after a while, people want to spend more time together.
yeah. I don't want to be someone that's drowned out with work every day and
Yeah,
can't do anything. So definitely, yeah, that's
you
my
come
goal.
home, they come home, you're like, ugh,
Right.
nobody wants to talk, nobody wants to watch anything. It's just, that's what marriage is for,
Mm.
man. For those of you who are married, exactly what I'm talking about. They're like, yeah, welcome, come to the dark side, Johnny. Come.
No thanks.
No, no, I'm so lying. I was
Yeah,
very happily married, everybody, at one time. It
that's
didn't end
at
well,
one
but
point.
I was very happily married, and marriage is a good thing, guys. So don't listen to me. Find somebody nice, get
It can
married.
be. It can be a good thing.
Yeah, it's not a give and take, but everything is work, guys. But if you wanted to work out, it'll work out. All right, I'll take enough Johnny's time. He needs some rest,
I'm
and
getting all these clients trying to change their times tomorrow. So people in general could just be a pain in the ass. It doesn't have to be store related, retail related, but yeah, you get someone the night before try to move their times, and it's 10:30, and I'm not moving for the people's time just so
I'm
one person.
surprised at 10:30. I wouldn't even bother texting my trainer at 10:30 at night. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what am I going to say to the guy?
I'm so nice that they know they know I'll try to
That's what it is.
make it
Everybody
work.
everybody knows you're nice. Like, oh, I
Yeah,
know John will try for me.
Yeah, so I'll figure that out on the drive home and deal with that.
Yeah, other trainers we know besides you, they won't
No,
even bother texting them.
no, and they would say it's not even 24-hour notice. If you can't make it, give me the money. I would never.
Exactly.
I would never. I don't do that.
I've seen them do that. They're like, oh, by the way, you owe me $35 for cancellation fee,
Yeah,
or you owe me something for
I've never
cancellation fee.
charged anyone one time, not even once, for a cancellation fee, and I've had people not show. I'll let them get away with it once, and then if they do it a second time, I'll cut them off. I won't ever train them again.
Yeah.
But I would never.
Yeah, you ever have seen Aeon? By the way, I know I just came online.
No, is he all right? What's up
I
with
don't know.
him?
Que pedo, Aeon? Foram Garagada Pensos.
The
He's
guy's on his way to being the youngest Indian entrepreneur, whatever he's trying to do.
I don't know. He think he owns like 2 smoke shops now, so he's doing
Yeah.
pretty good actually.
Yeah.
So he's a good kid. Just if you hear this podcast, dumbass, give me a call.
Yeah, he's a little confused. That's all. Good
He
kid,
always
though.
was.
Yeah.
Him and before I go, are you happy that Craig is gone from the gym?
I might have been. Me and you might have been the only ones that liked Craig. You liked him, right?
He was. I didn't mind him.
I didn't mind him. I didn't. Okay, I didn't like him, but he
Yeah.
didn't bother me.
Exactly.
Did he do headstands in the gym? Yeah. So fucking what? These guys have their tripods and there's 5 kids hogging them. I don't like. In the scheme of what's annoying in the gym, he didn't do anything that weird.
I
found.
agree, actually.
What did he get kicked out for ultimately? You know,
the handstands.
That's what it was for.
The hand,
Really?
he was doing it like where like you're doing chest and everything, and he ended up bumping into somebody one time.
Oh yeah.
And then they got really upset, like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I'm sorry, but
he would have like he's a nice
Yeah.
guy. He would
But he
definitely
would
cower
you
down.
do it again right away.
Oh, he's
And
stupid
again.
too.
And I know, he wasn't he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. So
Yeah.
nice guy. Like I said, like you said, he's pretty cool. Just I don't know. Some people are just strange.
He's okay. He bought supplements off me. Yeah, he's alright guy. You know.
He used to bug John. So Johnny, I had a question.
I had to shut him down a few times in the question thing. I'm like, Craig, I'm in the middle of fucking working out. Go over there. But he would listen. He'd be okay. He'd go over there.
It's funny. That's true. He did always listen.
He would be like, okay, no problem.
Funny guy. All right, I am KPC. I'm out. Thank you, Johnny Linden, for joining me. And all his stuff and his bio is going to be up on my page. Probably a lot of pictures, too, because when I make this video, they'll be embedded in the video. So I'm going to embarrass John later.
That's nice. I had actually a really good time being on here. How much time went by? How long did
Dude, it's like an hour and a half.
An hour and a half? Oh, there you go. Yeah, definitely like at least an hour.
It's funny. It's like as much time I spent with Jamie and like it flew by, too.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty funny. All right, guys. I love you all. Thanks for listening. I appreciate everybody's support, and I'm out. Peace.
Signing out.
Thanks for watching KPC and JPC the podcast. To hear the rest of the beginning, which you guys missed a little bit of the beginning, go to iTunes or Spotify and hear the podcast of Johnny Linden. Find out what got him into working out. Thanks for tuning in.